Adjusting to the winter weather can be tricky, especially for the animals and plants that live outside in the winter time. Just like us humans, they have to adjust and adapt. Now, at the Shadbush Nature Center, during the winter hike, we got to learn all about how plants and animals adjust to the winter. Let's go explore and find out.
Hi, my name is Jimmy. I work here at the Burgess-Shadbush Nature Center. I'm a nature aide and talking about winter hiking. I just led a hike today in the snow, and so I've got some tips for you on how to be prepared for a winter hike. You should always wear the proper clothing, a nice warm coat, hat, proper footwear, boots, warm socks, gloves. Stay nice and bundled up because it can get very cold here. You should bring a bag with any sort of snacks or drinks you might want, preferably something hot because you don't want to drink something cold. It'll cool you down as well. So if you have a nice thermos where you can bring some hot cocoa or some warm coffee and stay warm during the hike. Always watch out for ice. Today we had a couple times where we almost slipped, and it can hurt a lot if you fall on ice and you can get really injured. And so just always be aware of where ice is and keep your eye out for it to make sure you don't fall. People should go out hiking in the winter because there's a lot of cool things that you don't necessarily see that in the winter that you would see in the summer. You can see animals behaving differently in the winter as opposed to in the summer. And some animals are easier to see in the winter because their colors pop more in the winter.
Foxes have that really great tail, and they use it as a scarf. So they'll curl up into a little ball, kind of like your dog does at home.
Yeah,
and they will put their tail over their nose and face to keep that warm because that nose is going to be more exposed.
In the winter time, animals get some really interesting adaptations to help them survive the winter. This animal here is really interesting. They are more so in the UP, but it is an ermine, which is like a type of weasel. In the summertime, it will have this brown and then a little bit of white on the bottom. But then in the wintertime, it turns completely white, which helps it to stay camouflaged.
In the winter, toads like wart here will bury themselves about 4 feet into the ground, and they'll stay there for winter, and they can freeze up most of their body. The main parts that they don't freeze up their body are their heart and their digestive system, so they can still process things. But their limbs and everything else are pretty much frozen solid, so that they can focus their energy that they get, because they're not eating, so they're not getting any new energy. So all their energy is going towards just keeping that heart pumping.
We've seen deer here at the Nature Center, we've seen turkey, we've seen all sorts of songbirds, and if you're really lucky, you might see a fox.
Down here we have different signs that you might see of animals in the wintertime. So these are some examples of tracks. A lot of, looking at the ground around you, seeing what you can find. That's a good way to find tracks.
I like the lower trail here at the Nature Center. It has a lot of different plants to see, lots of different animals you can find, and it takes you all the way to the Clinton River. We hold guided hikes 2 times a month on Sundays, and they are from 2 to 4 p.m. here at the Nature Center. Go out and enjoy winter.